Hey guys, it's Nebula, and today I'll be making my first Rsbuddy programming tutorial. So basically in this series, I'll just start off with the basics in Java and move my way into Rsbuddy programming. So the first thing you want to do is download Eclipse, which is a Java IDE, which stands for Interactive Development Environment. Now when you start up Eclipse, the first thing you're going to get is this little frame right here, and it's going to ask you to select a workspace. Pretty much what your workspace is it's where all your projects and everything you create in Eclipse will be saved to you. So I just created a new empty folder on my desktop, and I named it Workspace. And I'm going to select that as a workspace. Also, I'm going to select this little checkbox right here so that it won't ask me the next time to select it again. So I'm just going to click OK. Okay, so Eclipse just loaded, and this will be the first screen you get. And you won't get it again unless you choose to come back to the screen. So what you have to do from here is click this arrow right here, and this will bring you to this screen. Now what you're going to do from here is you're going to right click in this box right here and click New, and then Java Project. You can name this whatever you want, but it's going to be the folder that pretty much holds all your scripts and stuff. So I'm just going to name mine scripts. And then you're going to click Finish. Okay, so to make sure that you can use all of the methods inside of Rsbuddy, and methods are pretty much statements that can perform actions that you can create. Like Java won't have built-in methods for RuneScape. Rsbuddy creates those methods itself. So to make sure that you can use those and you won't get a bunch of errors when you're writing down all your code, you have to reference the Rsbuddy library. And to do this, you're gonna first right-click your project. You're gonna click Build. You're gonna go to Build Path. Then you're gonna go down here to Configure Build Path. Then you have to go to Libraries, then Add External Jars. Now you're going to select the path to your rsbuddy.jar. Mine is on my desktop. Okay, now that's done, you're going to click OK. And now if you if you go over here to your reference libraries, it'll say rsbuddy.jar, and that's what you want. Okay, so now let's start off with explaining what basic things are in Java. So first you're going to click on your project, you're going to click New, and then you're going to go to Class. What a class is basically what Java can interpret. You write in a .java file, and then you can compile that with the built-in Java compiler into something called bytecode, and the computer can understand what bytecode is. So now I'm going to click on New Class, and now you can name this whatever you want. Okay, so the classes should start with a capital letter because it's good practice for Java. So now I'm going to click Finish, and it's going to create my class. Now as you can see right here, it created this .java file called tutorial, which is what I named my class. In the class file, you're going to have public class tutorial, or tutorial will be replaced with whatever you named your class. And pretty much what this is saying is it's saying public, which means it can be accessed by other classes, and class, which is pretty much defining what tutorial is. Tutorial is a class, so it's saying that it can be accessed by other classes, and it's a class. Public means that it can be accessed by other classes, and private means that it stays within this class. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is create a method. Now this won't be used in Rsbuddy at all, but this is good for your overall Java knowledge. So when Java runs a class file, it looks for a main method, and as I said before, a method is pretty much what just holds a bunch of actions that you can execute, and you can call upon it later by just saying the name of the method and two parentheses after and a semicolon. So when So when Java runs a class file, it'll look for the main method. Here's what the main method looks like: public static void main, and then here are the two parentheses I was talking about, and this is called a data type, and the data type is string. I'll go into data types later. String, and then two brackets, and that means it's an array, and I'll go into arrays later too. String args, and then you have to include these curly braces after it, and this is a method. So public means that it can be accessed by other classes. Static, which means that there'll only be one of these types of things in the memory. Void is a data type. The method doesn't have to return anything. And main is the name of the method. And then here's the parentheses. String, which is a data type, and it pretty much just holds characters in quotes. And args is what you're naming the string parameter. I'll go into detail later. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a string variable. And how you'll do this is you'll just create one right here. So I'm going to make mine private so that it can only be accessed by this class. Private string. And what a string is it holds chars. A char is another data type, and it's just one single character. But a string can hold multiple chars and quotes. And here's how you'd make a string. So private string, let's name, and then you have to name your string. Let's name it S for string, and then we're gonna set it equal to something. So private string S equals, and now you'll open your quotes, and then let's say hello exclamation point. Okay, so and then you have to include a not exclamation point, whoops, a semicolon after it. And so pretty much what this is saying is string is modifying S, and it's telling what type of data type S is, and S is a string, and it's holding the value hello exclamation point. So yeah, so pretty much if you called upon S would stand for hello exclamation point. So now let's go into our main class and let's print it out to the console. And what the console is it's when you run a Java program, if you want to debug things, you can print out things to it, and you can basically see how well your program is running and like see what phase it's in and stuff like that. So now how you're going to print out things to the console is you're going to type system, then you're going to type .out, .println, which stands for print line. Then you're going to open two parentheses, and now this takes the parameter of a it can take pretty much it can take a bunch of parameters right here: boolean, char in array form, double, float, integer, long, object, string, and I'll teach you about these later. But for our purposes, we're going to use a string. So now, since I said that S stands for the string hello, we can just call upon it by saying S. So now we can say system.out.println S, and then we can add a little semicolon after it. So now when you run the class tutorial, it'll look for the main method, and it'll come down to here, and it'll say, okay, whoops. It'll come down to here, and it'll say it'll perform what's inside of the main method, which is inside these two brackets right here. So now it'll say system.out.println, so it'll print out a line to the console, and it'll print S. Whoops. Oops, I have to make S static, which before I said is just there'll be one of them in the memory. If I change this to public static, then it can be accessed by other classes, but I'll explain that later too. So private static string. Okay, so now we're going to say system.out.println S. And so pretty much what it's going to do is it's going to print hello to the console. Okay, so I went ahead and made change the string to hello. This is string number 1, because now I'm going to create a method which will use another string, so we can just see the difference between the two strings. So now I'll create the method, and in Java it doesn't matter how many times you indent or indent or click enter so you can be down here and stuff, but I'll do it up here. Private, which means it can only be accessed inside of this class. Static, there'll only be one inside the memory. Void, which is a data type along with string, and that pretty much means that it doesn't have to return anything at all. If you had a string, it would have to return a string inside of the method. So private, static, void. Let's name our method print. Oh yeah, and also it's a good form in Java to always start off your methods with the lowercase letter, and then if it has another word in it, not making any spaces but making it a capital letter. So like print line, the L in line would be capital. So now you're going to include parentheses, and then because you have to do that, and now you're going to open the body of the method with these two curly braces. And if you click after the curly brace, it'll show you where the closing brace is, and as you can see, this little rectangle around that. Also same down here as if you click after. Okay, so now we have a method, private static void print line. Now it'll be underlined in yellow, and it'll say that it's never used locally. What this means is that it's never being used at all in our program. So to fix that, you'd have to use it, but warnings don't really matter. They make me happy. Okay, so now in our method, we're gonna use the print method like we did up here. And now we're gonna say, instead of using a variable that we're gonna print, we're gonna just print the string out. So now we're gonna say system.out.println. Then we're gonna open our parentheses and add a little semicolon after it, and we're gonna print hello. This is string number 2. Let's add a little smiley face because it makes me happy. Okay, so now if we run this, it'll only print out hello, this is string number 1, smiley face, because we never called upon the print line method. See, it's yellow, it's underlined in yellow, which means it's never being used. So now let's call upon it in the main method. So now to call upon a method, all you have to do is just say print line, and then use your two parentheses and then a semicolon. And so when you run the class, it'll look for the main method, and then it'll say system.out.println s. It'll print this, and then it'll perform the method print line. And so it'll come down here, and it'll say private. It can only be accessed within this class. Static, which means that there'll only be one in the memory. Void, which means it doesn't return anything, and print line, which means which is just the name of the method. And the parentheses you have to include after, and then the curly braces which open the method. And since we're calling upon the method, it'll perform what's inside of these curly braces. And what's inside is it's going to print the line hello, this is string number 2, smiley face, and semicolon. Okay, so now let's run it. First you should save it. Now let's run it. And then it says hello, this is string number 1, and then hello, this is string number 2. So yep, it came up here, printed it, and then performed the method print line. Okay, well that's all for this tutorial, and please tell me down in the comments on ways that I can improve this, and next tutorial I guess I'll be going over data types in even more detail because there's so many more. And yep, alright, well thanks for watching.